True believers and newcomers alike, you are welcome to another edition of Sports Tour on Enterprise Television. This is the program where we take you on a journey through all the hot topics in sports. I'm Josh Okoli. We are live, and here are the headlines. Galatasaray Vice President issues threat to clubs over striker Victor Osimhen. League football returns to Lagos as Ikorodu City host Enugu Rangers and Lobi Stars face Enyimba. In MMA, Nigeria's Israel Adesanya drops out of UFC pound-for-pound ranking for the first time in 5 years. Chelsea, Manchester City, Real Madrid victorious as we take a look at intra-club football games in England, Spain and Italy. Manchester United's quest for European glory kicks off against Dutch opposition. Let's take a time out on the sports tour. When we come back, we will dig into all the items that we have on offer. Welcome back to Sports on Enterprise TV. I have here with me none other than the dynamic sports producer and analyst Ejiro Emini. Ejiro, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely, and we can't wait to listen to your incisive analysis on all the items that we have on offer.
I'm ready for that.
Definitely. Let's start with the fact that Ibrahim Hatipoglu, the vice president of Galatasaray, insists that Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen won't leave the club in January after reports suggest that Juventus, the old lady, and the Blues of Chelsea are interested in the player who is on loan from Napoli. Osimhen, the African Footballer of the Year, joined Galatasaray on a season-long loan deal until the end of the season and has provided 2 assists in 2 league games, including one against Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce on Saturday, where Galatasaray defeated Fenerbahce 3-1. Galatasaray will pay Osimhen 6 million euros during the 2024-2025 campaign, and the player's release clause at Napoli has been lowered to 75 million euros from 130 million euros. The Nigerian hitman signed a 1-year contract extension with the Partenope before joining Galatasaray earlier in September. His convincing start to the season at Galatasaray has fueled transfer speculation that the striker could already leave the Istanbul Lions in January, but the club's vice president Ibrahim Hatipoglu thinks otherwise and has vehemently warned and hinted at taking Chelsea, Juventus or any other clubs who wants to attempt to pursue Victor Osimhen in January to court, insisting that no discussion will be tolerated to pry Osimhen away from Galatasaray, as the club even hopes to extend his stay at the club beyond the season. Ejiro, Victor Osimhen, Africa's #1 player in 2023, maybe might not win the award in 2024. It seems like our own Ademola Lookman might win it. Yeah. Now, Napoli issue, hot cake for clubs who want him in January. Should they not just wait till the summer, or do you think they have a chance to prime away from Galatasaray in January?
I feel he shouldn't rush it. He should wait till summer transfer, because it's just January. That is the winter transfer. Yeah. And Galatasaray will do everything in their power to hold him down for a season-long loan. That's what they want. Or come on, from clubs like Juve and Chelsea, it's tempting, and it will also tempt Napoli too, if they can pay off his release clause. But it all comes down to the player, if he wants to go or if he doesn't want to. So I feel Osimhen shouldn't rush it. He should just wait till summer transfer to leave Napoli if he wants to. If
you are Osimhen, would you stay at Gala, go to Chelsea, or go to the old lady?
I will stay at Gala.
Even after the season?
Even after the season.
Oh, wow.
Because he's already, look at how they welcomed him. He's already building relationship with them, with his teammates. He's playing with his old teammates, Martins also. And he already has 2 assists in 2 games already. So I feel he's comfortable. He shouldn't leave his comfort zone right now.
And Gala topping the table, they might even win the league as well.
Yeah, so I feel he should stay. till summer transfer, and let's see what happens.
Well, in other Nigerian stories, let's tell that there will be 2 rescheduled games played in the MPFL on Wednesday, and in the bid to ensure that outstanding games are played in due time for Nigerian clubs representing the country on the continent, 9-time league champions Enyimba and the most successful team in Nigeria's history will hope to continue their fine form when they face Lobby Stars of Makurdi at the Aparaco Stadium in Makurdi. Fine stadium. I've been there myself as well, so I can tell you from experience. And Coach Yema Olarenwaju's men qualified for the group stages of the CAF Confederations Cup, having defeated Etoile Filante of Burkina Faso 3-2 on penalties after both games ended goalless. In Lagos, Ikorodu City will host Enugu Rangers at the Onicon Stadium in Lagos. The newly promoted side are set to welcome the defending league champions, who will play one of their 2 outstanding fixtures that came about due to their continental sojourn that ended in defeat as the Flying Antelopes were eliminated 3-2 on aggregate to Angolan club Sagrada Esperança. Fidelis Ilechukwu, who was previously the coach of MFM FC, a defunct Lagos club, wants to bounce back in style and secure his first win of the MPFL season in Lagos, the city where he made himself famous. In UFC, in the mixed martial arts, let's tell that former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya, the last style bender, has dropped out of the UFC pound-for-pound rankings for the first time in 5 years, following his recent submission loss to South Africa's Dricus du Plessis, the Nigerian-born fighter who has been a staple in the UFC's top 15 since 2019, now faces an uncertain future, especially in the title scene, as he contemplates his next move in the sport. Adesanya's exclusion from the rankings comes after that defeat to DDP at UFC 305 in his second country of Australia, because Australia is also like a second country to New Zealand, where Adesanya spent a lot of his formative years. He was submitted in the 4th round of that highly anticipated all-African middleweight title fight, and the loss following a year-long hiatus after Adesanya previously lost his belt in his last fight to Sean Strickland in shocking fashion. The former champ, who is known for his striking prowess and charismatic persona, even dancing to the ring before he had huge fights against legendary Anderson Silva that brought him into the limelight in 2019, had been aiming to reclaim the middleweight crown, but was outclassed by DDP, who capitalized on his ground game mistake by Adesanya to secure a rear naked choke submission. Adesanya, who was ranked in the top 10 of the pound-for-pound list for much of his career since September 2nd, 2019, and was at a point ranked as the #1 best fighter in the entire world, now sees himself replaced in the rankings by Aljamain Sterling, former UFC bantamweight champion, who now competes in the featherweight division. Adesanya also lost big this weekend as he lost a $10,000 stake on 2-time former unified world heavyweight champion and his close friend Anthony Joshua in his IBF heavyweight title fight against Daniel Dubois, as was utterly decimated at Wembley Stadium. Lost in the white tickets, lost in the bookmaker's shop, and of course lost in his rankings on the UFC pound-for-pound rankings. A sad week for Israel Adesanya. Hopefully he can bounce back and perhaps maybe reclaim his middleweight title or step up to the light heavyweight division and get something going for him there. His previous fight in light heavyweight ended with him losing to Jan Blachowicz. It was for the light heavyweight title, his first ever loss in his MMA career. Let's move over to football and to England and tell you that Christopher Nkunku scored a hat-trick as Chelsea trashed 4th-tier Barrow FC 5-0 to reach the last 16 of the EFL Cup on Tuesday, as a mud-chained Manchester City aired out Watford 2-1. Frenchman Nkunku now has 6 goals in 7 games this season, but the Frenchman has still been unable to nail down a regular berth in Enzo Maresca's side. Maresca made 11 changes from the team that beat West Ham 3-0 at the weekend, but could still start around £400 million worth of talent, to show you the amount of players that Chelsea, the quality in Chelsea's entire squad. Premier League, Leicester City squeezed through to the 4th round of the Carabao Cup on penalties at the expense of valiant underdogs Walsall. The League 2 side created the better openings after 90 minutes, but Charlie Larkin and veteran forward Albert Adoma both failed to convert the pick of them. Fox's goalkeeper Danny Ward proved the hero in the shootout, saving all 3 of Walsall Sport kicks as Steve Cooper's men survived a big scare to qualify to the next round. And in the last EFL game that was played on Tuesday, Aston Villa reached the 4th round despite an underwhelming performance at League One Wycombe Wanderers. Unai Emery's French players struggled to impress before Emiliano Buendia's looping 56-minute header set the Premier League club on their way. Emery made 10 changes in total but still had Ian Maatsen, whose last competitive start was for Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final at Wembley in June, and John Duran, who also scored in the starting 11. On Wednesday, Arsenal will host Bolton and Liverpool will face West Ham to wrap up the round of 32 in the EFL Cup. The draws for the round of 16, that's the next stage of the EFL Cup, will take place after Wednesday's games. Over to you, Ejiro. EFL Cup games done and dusted for Tuesday, remaining Wednesday's fixture, which seem like Arsenal and Liverpool will make it to the next round. Quickly, should Christopher Nkunku make it into the starting 11 of Chelsea?
That's a tough question concerning how we have talented forwards.
Yeah.
But I feel, yes, he has proven himself recently because he has the most goals for Chelsea this season already.
Six goals in 7 games. And has not featured as much as Nicholas Jackson.
Yes.
Who has 5 goals. So it's still not much.
I will just put it that, okay, this team is just to scrape through. He scored a hat-trick in this game.
So maybe a double pivot, a double 2 strikers up front instead.
Nah, it won't work like that. When you scare off Palmer and Neto at the wing, or Palmer, we have a lot
Joao
of
Felix, Mikhailo Mudryk.
We have a lot of forwards. So I feel Nkunku is the best option for me, but I'm not the coach, so I can't decide it.
Let's go over to Italy and tell that Francesco Fabregas's Como stunned Europa League champions Atalanta 3-2 away at the Gewi Stadium in Bergamo, leaving Atalanta coach Gianpiero Gasperini feeling bitterly disappointed by some of his players' performances on Tuesday. That game at Como was below par for his players, and the opposition were way better than his players, according to the coach of the team, Gianpiero Gasperini. Davide Zappacosta gave Atalanta the lead after 18 minutes, but 3 goals within 12 minutes of the second half. The first, which came 20 seconds after the restart, sent Cesc Fabregas' side on their way to their first ever Serie A victory, a 3-2 victory away from home against the Europa League champions. Ademola Lookman, Nigeria's winger and the favourites to win the African Footballer of the Year in 2024, converted a consolation penalty with the final kick of the game. In the Coppa Italia, Lecce lost 2-0 to Sassuolo at home. Cagliari beat Cremonese 1-0 and Torino lost 2-1 at home to Empoli. On Wednesday, Pisa will take on Cesena, Udinese will face Salernitana, and Genoa will host Sampdoria. In Spain, La Liga champions Real Madrid beat Alaves 3-2, Sevilla defeated Valladolid, Real Valladolid 2-1, and Valencia played a goalless draw with Osasuna. And on Wednesday, Girona will host Rayo Vallecano, and Barcelona will take on Getafe at the out there at the Estadio Luis Campillis in Barcelona, their alternative home, because they are no longer playing at the Camp Nou due to the renovation that's happening there. Let's move over to the Europa League and tell that Manchester United will kickstart their quest to win a second UEFA Europa League title as they welcome 2010 Dutch Eredivisie champions FC Twente to the soon-to-be renovated Old Trafford. The Red Devils, who have had a terrible start to the league season, having recorded 7 points from 5 games, will look to gain momentum with a cup game, the Europa League game, against Dutch side FC Twente. United, led by Dutchman Erik ten Hag, who has been trying to recapture the Dutch magic of his Ajax Amsterdam tenure in the red half of Manchester, will look to secure the 3 points in the new format of the competition. In other Europa League games for Wednesday, AZ Alkmaar will face Elfsborg of Sweden, Bodo Glimt will take on Porto, Ludogorets Razgrad will do battle with Slavia Praha, Nice will face Real Sociedad, Midtjylland of Denmark will take on Hoffenheim of Germany, Dynamo Kiev of Ukraine battles SS Lazio of Italy, and elect against Ferencvaros, and Galatasaray will host PAOK. Ejiro, Europa League is here. We saw the Champions League last midweek. United to kickstart things off against FC Twente. Is the Europa League and victory, perhaps not just in today's game, but in the entire competition, the only way for Erik ten Hag to keep his job as United manager. Because looking at the way it is, they might not even make the top 4 at the end of the season.
Yeah, making 7 points in 5 games is really low for someone of his standard. But
and for even the club like United, the most successful English league team ever.
Yeah, the amazing works he did at Ajax, he seems to be finding it hard to replicate it in Manchester United.
But then he's won 2 trophies as well.
That's where I was coming to. Okay. Even though he has won 2 trophies already with Manchester United, you still see he's struggling in the league. Maybe struggling in the league, that's what is happening to him right now. But if you look at it in cup competitions, he's actually doing really well. So I can say yes, let's see if he can do it in Europa League, because if you look at back in is it 2019 or 2018? 2019 when he led
Ajax. 2019.
Yeah. So
they won the league. They won the Eredivisie, won the KNVB Cup, and they also got to the semi-final of the Champions League.
It feels like in cup games he's really good. So I give mine the Europa League. I would say in this early stages it cannot be decided, but the way he leads his teams into cup games, might have a shot in it.
Okay, lastly, before I let you off the hook for the day, City first, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, and Chelsea, Aston Villa. These are 6 teams that seem to be the favourites for the top 4 in the Premier League. If United does not make, last season they finished 8th, but they got to Europa League because they won the FA Cup against City. So if United does not make the top 4 or even the top 6, like what happened last season, and they win the Europa League, a big club like United always entering into Europe through cup games. Should this be cause for worry? Should Ten Hag still face the ask because he still won a trophy despite finishing poor in the Premier League?
I feel this season, if he doesn't make the top 8, and maybe he wins like maybe the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup
or the Europa League.
If he wins the Europa League,
he can finish 15th.
If he wants to finish 15th, let him finish 15th. Every club wants an European trophy,
especially the Champions
League. Yeah. Europa League too is not bad,
and then winning it takes you to the Champions League as well
automatically.
Yeah.
So yes, if he wins the Europa League, let him finish around 18th.
18th relegation.
I'm so sorry. Let him at least finish around that point, but he will still be
in the Premier League
boss. But him winning FA Cup or Carabao Cup again
without making it to the top 4.
The top 4 or even the top 8 itself. Yeah, he has to go there.
Erik ten Hag, you definitely do have a lot of work to do as the manager of Manchester United in order to bring the club back to the glory days of Sir Alex Ferguson. Well, that's how much we can take on Sports Tour for the day. Endeavor to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Enterprise TV 7 on YouTube. Click the notification bell to get alerts on all our new YouTube videos. You can follow us on all our social media platforms as well. We are Enterprise TV 7, that's ENTERPRISE TV 7 on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Like, share, and engage with our content, and also visit our website www.enterprisetvnews.com, where we give you all the hot stories on the go, the live updates, the exclusives, and the news you can use. Moreover, if you want to partner with us at Enterprise Television, you want to place your product on our platform, and for all sponsorship and advertising inquiries, kindly send a mail to enterprisetv7@gmail.com, or you can send a DM to the aforementioned social media handle at Enterprise TV 7 on all social media platforms. Ejiro, thank you once again for incisive analysis, and we'd definitely love to see you next time on Sports Store.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, and before we go, let's leave you with this statement from retired sprinter Michael Dwayne Johnson, winner of 4 Olympic gold medals and 8 athletics world championship medals in 200 meters, 400 meters, and 4x400 meters. He said, and I quote, "The best motivation always comes from within," end quote. This is a call to always motivate yourself, as you alone hold the key to achieving your ambition and your goals. I'm Josh Okoli, and I want to thank you for the privilege of your time. Until we meet again on Sports Store, #luego.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.